Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a Q&A for you, so if you are interested in hearing answers to questions that are on all different topics, stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, first of all, let's talk about my hair. I dyed it the other day. I've never been so excited about dyed hair. I was like jumping up and down. I was so super excited. My grays were like out of control, and I dyed it with a box of L'Oreal hair dye, and I am so pleased with it. I just love it. I don't know, it was really easy. It was $8, and that's all I have to say about that. I'm really excited. Okay, so I walked into my study today to look at the lighting for this video, and I had makeup and my hair done, and my son did a double take. He's like, "Where are you going?" Because I've not worn makeup in 6 weeks. And then I walked into my family room where my daughter was sitting, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you so dressed up? Where are you going?" Like, everybody in my house is like, "Dude, what's up, mom? Why are you wearing makeup? Why is your hair done?" Because it has been that long since I've worn makeup. But for those of you who are curious about what I am wearing, let's talk about it. I am wearing this Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette 5 in the shade 08 on my eyes. You can only get this shade selection on Beautylish. Sephora does not have it, but that is what I'm wearing on my eyes. Let me get close so you guys can see. It's kind of got like a nice forest green thing going on, and then it's got this beautiful like peachy gold color. It's very beautiful. Love it. And then on my lips, I had this Natasha Denona, no, Pat McGrath. What is it? Pat McGrath in Divine Rose. It's like one of those little mini lip glosses. And then on my cheeks, I have this Too Faced Sweethearts Perfect Blush in the shade Beaches and Cream. No, Peach Beach. It's called Peach Beach. It's just like a luminous blush. You can see all the luminosity happening. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. The sun is shining. It's beautiful outside. I'm looking into my backyard with my pool, and it's pretty outside. And I don't know, you guys, like, life update real quick. We still have not been called to the ICU, so I've been doing general anesthesia cases in the operating room, but I have not been working in the ICU with COVID patients because the ICU doctors don't need us. It just has not gotten that busy in San Antonio. So I don't know if it's going to. Peak is predicted for like a week from now. But we're apparently starting up with elective surgeries at the end of this week because the governor lifted restrictions for elective surgeries on Friday, the Texas governor. So we're supposed to be starting elective surgeries back up this week. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I'm going back to work this week. I have to say, like, this last 6 weeks of much less work. At the beginning, I was like so stressed out because I don't know. I thought I was going to be in the ICU, which obviously would be very stressful, but I was just stressed about everything. I was stressed about, like, how are we going to work in the OR? What were we going to be doing in the OR? But I've been to work, and I've been working in the OR. I've been wearing my N95 mask. I've been taking other precautions when I'm intubating people, when I'm working in people's airways, which is every day. I've been working probably 3 out of 5 days a week. And 1 week I worked 5 days, but I've been working way less than normal. And so it has just been, if we're looking for the things to be grateful about in this time, I have not had this much time with my kids and my husband in 25 years. Well, my kids as long as they've been born, my husband in 25 years. I mean, we have not spent this much time together in so many years. I haven't had this much time to just enjoy life and just relax in so many years. And I feel like in the past, with this amount of time, I would have been restless and not known what to do with myself. But we have spent, like, instead of being restless, we've like embraced this quality time, and we walk twice a day with the kids in the neighborhood. We swim in our pool, we grill out dinner, we eat on the patio, we play board games, we watch movies with the kids. We have just I really have appreciated this time so much with my family. I'm sure you guys have too. That is kind of the silver lining around this COVID very dark cloud. The streets in my neighborhood remind me of my childhood. They remind me of the 80s because people are just riding their bikes and everybody's on the street. Kids are playing football on the street and tennis on the street and riding their bikes, and it reminds me of my childhood, and I have not seen that ever in my adulthood until now. So that's kind of something to be grateful for in this very crazy COVID time. And yeah, so I just wanted to share those feelings with you before we get into the Q&A and just kind of a life update and things that I'm grateful for. And I'm also grateful to all of you. I have so many nurses that have reached out to me who are working on COVID units, who are not working on COVID units. And I just want to say to you guys, y'all rock. One nurse in particular was really upset with me for not mentioning that nurses were frontline workers. I don't know if you guys caught it on that video where I was just talking about who were frontline workers that I listed on the bottom. When I was filming the video, I was just in my brain. I was thinking about doctors. But then a nurse brought up to me that I didn't mention other frontline workers, and I had noticed that when I was editing the video, so I added at the bottom like nurses, respiratory technicians, housekeeping, police, firemen, anybody who's on the front lines. I want to thank all of you guys. I did not mean to leave anybody out. I would never do that. Obviously, I appreciate my nursing colleagues so much. And I was just like in doctor mode at that moment. I was just thinking about like me and like doctor things. Obviously, I am well aware that nurses and respiratory technicians and respiratory therapists are on the front lines. And I just want to thank all of you guys for the work that you're doing. And I'm just appreciative to all my healthcare colleagues around this country right now. I feel like we've all really come together during this time. And I'm going to stop babbling now, and I'm going to get into the Q&A, and I'm going to start answering questions for you. I have not looked at any of these questions. I've looked at them, but I haven't really thought about the answers. So I'm just going to read them out loud, and I'm just going to answer them off the bat, just how they came in. So the first one is, besides your full-time profession, being a mom, a wife, a YouTuber, do you get a chance to watch other channels, particularly medical professionals? I do a few. I watch Dr. Dre. I really think that she is, my husband just walked in the room. Want to say hi? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. My husband's like, no. My husband just pointed out to me that our pillows are messy and not like super neat on our bed, and I have lotion next to my bed, and I'm like, meh, nobody cares, right? You guys don't care. I don't think so. Anyway, the medical professionals that I watch on YouTube are, number one, Dr. Dre. I think she's awesome and just full of information and wonderful. I also like Dr. Davin Lim. He's I think Australian, not from New Zealand. I'm pretty sure he's Australian dermatologist, also very knowledgeable and an interesting YouTuber. Other than that, I would say I probably don't watch any other medical YouTubers. My favorite YouTubers are probably Emily Noel, Lisa Eldridge, Miss Gold Girl, Lisa J. Who else do I watch pretty regularly? Oh, Kathy's Beauty Care Chats, Miss Melissa M. Those are some of the ones that just like pop into my brain right away that I watch pretty regularly. Although in the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've watched nobody. I have not watched any YouTube. I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to disconnect from it. I was feeling too serious to watch YouTube. And like this week, I'm starting to feel a lot better, which is why you see me like with my hair dyed and done and my makeup on, and I'm more happy and excited just because I feel less anxiety. I don't know why. I mean, COVID's still around. It's still a huge risk, but for whatever reason, I'm just feeling less stressed. So I'm going to start watching more YouTube. That is the reason for that. So those are the YouTube people that I watch. What is your favorite part of your job, and what is your least favorite thing about it? I really love my job. I love everything about it. My only thing that I don't like about my job is when I'm working so much that there's no balance. And that happens fairly frequently, where I'm just working nonstop and there's no balance. I have a feeling that is what's going to be happening here in the next 3 months, because there has been no elective surgery. I have a feeling that like June, July, August are going to be crazy, insane months at work, with everybody trying to fit in the elective surgeries that they couldn't get from mid-March to the end of April. And I think it's going to be probably like too much, even like just too much working and not enough balance. So I love my job. I just don't love it when I have no balance and I'm just working. By the way, if you guys hear typing, my husband's working in our bedroom. He's got a desk in here, so he's typing. That's what that is. What do you like to do in your free times besides YouTube and makeup? I like to exercise. I really have been enjoying our walks. I have a Peloton bike. I like to Peloton. I also really am enjoying spending time with my kids. Basically, in any free time that I have that is not working, I'm hanging out with the kids. We've really gotten into games over the last 6 weeks. We're playing tons and tons of games. We're really enjoying that. Back in the days before I had kids, I had lots and lots of hobbies. I don't really feel like I have time for hobbies, but I'll tell you some of the hobbies that I used to do. I used to sew. Back in the day, I have a really nice sewing machine that I have not pulled out in many, many years. I used to also be a huge jewelry maker, like huge. Like I made so much jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets. I guess there's always been something that I've needed to do that like has a creative side to it, like a creative touch to it. When I was in residency, I like scrapbooked a ton and I loved doing that. Those are my big things that I've done that have been my hobbies in the past that have kind of gone by the wayside since I had kids because there's just been no time. I used to jog and exercise. I mean, before I had kids, I exercised every single day and now I just exercise when I can. So that is what I like to do in my free time, kind of what I did in my past life and what I do in my current life. There's just no time for the other stuff really now. What made you choose anesthesia when you pursued medicine? And are there any other fields of medicine that you find particularly interesting? I think that choosing anesthesia was, in a way, dumb luck. I originally went to medical school thinking that I wanted to be an endocrinologist. I loved endocrinology. I loved, for those of you who are in the medical field, you may understand like endocrine cycles. I just think it's genius. It's brilliance. It's so interesting. And when you talk about like the pituitary gland and the thyroid gland and your adrenal glands and your pancreas, all of those things have these really interesting endocrine loops. And I just love that. But I did a internship at a diabetes clinic the summer before my first year of medical school, and I did not like it. It was all diabetes. It was not the stuff that like fascinated me about endocrinology, and I just didn't love being in a clinic. And so I decided not to do endocrine, but that was a really big indicator to me that I didn't want to do something that was clinic-based, meaning lots and lots and lots and lots of subspecialties of medicine, which are clinic-based. So that kind of eliminated a huge section of medicine for me, being in clinic. And that left surgery, anesthesia, and a few other subspecialties like radiology and things like that. And I knew I didn't want to be a radiologist. I could never sit in a dark room all day. There is no way. I am a person who needs light. I need brightness. I can't be in the dark. Our house is super light. In the day when I'm in the operating room all day, I will go outside and sit in the sun just to get sun. There is a thing that people need light, and I'm one of those people. Like if I lived in a really dark climate, I would probably have seasonal affective disorder. I don't. I live in Texas, luckily. But anyway, the long and the short of that is there's no way I could sit in a dark room all day. Never. I considered surgery very briefly, but I knew that I didn't want the lifestyle of a surgeon. And so anesthesia was like a lucky kind of dumb luck choice. And even now, looking back, I don't think that there is a subspecialty of medicine that I'm better suited for than anesthesia. Maybe if I had it to do again, I would go into derm. But aside from dermatology, I don't think that there is anything better suited to my personality than anesthesia. So I think I made a really, really good choice. Another question was, what is my favorite time of year? Definitely my favorite time of year in San Antonio are fall and spring. And that is because we get these beautiful, cool, blue skied days. Like when I have like blue skies, I get like so happy. And I love those days so much. And we have those days a fair amount. And then brands I would splurge on if money was no object. So if money was no object, in terms of clothing, purses, shoes, I probably wouldn't splurge on any of those things because I just don't really care about clothing, shoes, and purses. That's probably because I wear pajamas every day. And so I'm just not into those things at all. In terms of makeup, I kind of do splurge sometimes, and the brands that I really do love to splurge on are Viseart, Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, to some degree Tom Ford. I like the Tom Ford eyeshadows, but I prefer Viseart, Natasha Denona, and Pat McGrath over Tom Ford. I think that they are more expensive, but their eyeshadows are way more poppy than Tom Ford. So those are the beauty brands that I do like to splurge on. I have never bought any Chantecaille. They have some incredible eyeshadows, you guys, that look so amazing, but they're like $42 for one eyeshadow. So if money was not an object, I would probably collect all the Chantecaille single eyeshadows that are glittery. They're like multi-dimensional, beautiful glitters. If I can find them, I'll put them in the side right here, but they're incredible. And that is what I would buy if money was no object, but I'm not buying those right now because I have not worked in 6 weeks and there's no splurging happening at the moment. How do your coworkers react to learning you have a YouTube channel? So my peers, so I work in a group of about 80 people, but we have several different subdivisions. My subdivision has 15 people and we are all very close. Like very close. My subdivision is amazing. My coworkers are amazing. I like love them. I think that where my job is concerned, I like scored so big and so majorly because my partners are so amazing. I love all of them, and they all know I have a YouTube channel. They're all very supportive of it. I don't talk about it that much, but they ask me about it a fair amount. And they do ask me, my women partners do ask me about makeup tips fairly often. In fact, one of my partners, who's like one of my great friends, the other day, this is not the other day, this is before this whole COVID thing, so probably sometime back in January, I looked at her eye makeup and I was like, Cindy, your eyeshadow is creased. I'm gonna bring you an eyeshadow primer that you need to start wearing. And I did. I ordered her an eyeshadow primer from Ulta, and she came back to me the next day after I gave it to her. She's like, check it out. Like, check out how good it looks. It's not creased at all. So yes, my partners know about my YouTube channel. They are super sweet about it and supportive. And I'm sometimes get a little embarrassed because it's kind of silly and, I don't know, fun, but they're all really, really nice about it. The second question for this subscriber was, what would you be doing if you hadn't become a doctor? I don't know if you guys remember, I will link my last Q&A video above. I touched on this in that video. I'll try to remember to link it in the cards here, but I would have gone to law school if I had not been a doctor. I was a big debater in high school, and so I loved public speaking. It came very naturally to me. And so my kind of backup plan was that I would have gone to law school, but I never really considered that seriously because I always knew that I was going to go to medical school. So, I mean, I remember thinking when I was applying to med school, like, if this doesn't work, what am I going to do? And I remember thinking, well, I guess I could apply to law school. And that's probably what I would have done, but I probably would have applied to medical school again if I hadn't have gotten in the first time around, because that's how sure I was that I wanted to go to medical school. And then the next question is, how has COVID affected you at work and home? I kind of touched on this a little bit in the beginning of the video. At work, it has made work definitely more stressful. Because we are working in people's airways all the time, I am taking like a lot of precautions when I'm at work. Number one, I'm not wearing any makeup, so I don't look as good at work. I may be wearing some mascara. Number two, when I am putting patients to sleep, we have come up with some different ways of preventing aerosolization from the airway. So we're using plastic over the patient's airways when we are dealing with the patients once they're asleep. And the biggest thing is just like, wearing an N95 is uncomfortable all day. They like suffocate you. You can't really breathe very well in them. And also it's just like not as relaxing. Like I usually feel very relaxed at work, and it is just, I feel more stressed because of the germ consciousness issue every time I'm at work. So that's how it's changed my life at work. At home, like I said, I'm homeschooling the kids, but I'm kind of taking that with a grain of salt. My husband is trying to do his job from home every day. There's no way he can homeschool 3 kids all at once. My 10-year-old is pretty self-sufficient, but my 6-year-old and my 8-year-old need our help. So we are doing what we can. I'm not getting crazy. If we don't get it done, I don't worry about it. I don't think that these 6 weeks are going to make or break my kids' educational careers. And I feel like it's more important for us to be like sane and have like I think that my kids' attitude toward their work is much more important than getting their work done well or correctly, if that makes any sense. I just want them to have a good attitude, because I feel like their attitude about work is something that is a long-term project versus just getting a particular assignment done. So as long as they're having a good attitude about learning and what they are doing, they're trying hard at, I'm satisfied. I don't feel like we need to do anything more than make it through this time. That's how I feel like it's affected my home life. Like I said, I'm loving spending time with my kids. I'm loving having a little bit more time than I've had in the past. I love that I'm getting to spend more time with my husband, because we rarely have time to hang out and chit chat. We've been sitting in the hot tub at night, and we've been watching movies at night, and we don't get to do that very often. So it's been good for my family. It's been good for me and my family. Next question is, with your busy schedule, are you still able to find time to watch TV shows and read books? The answer is usually not really. I watch some TV when I'm at work on 24-hour OB shifts. While I'm waiting between epidurals, I just sit in the call room and I watch TV there. So like my favorite series are Stranger Things, hands down, best series of the decade. It's like, I don't know. I love the combination of the Goonies / the X-Files. That is Stranger Things. And the other shows that I've really loved, I really like 13 Reasons. I watched the entire Americans series just because it was set in the 80s and I loved like the whole spy thing. What else did we watch that was so good? Oh, The 100. Love The 100. What's that? It's like a teeny bopper show, but it's so good. It's like, I love sci-fi. And it's just about like a post-apocalyptic world. And I just thought it was really interesting and just thought-provoking. So The 100, if you guys are into sci-fi, was so good. I watched that whole series. Yeah, so I don't really watch that much. In these last 6 weeks I have because there's been time. But during kind of regular life, I don't get much time to watch TV. I do also read some books kind of on that OB situation when I'm like between epidurals. But I don't have time to read or watch TV when I get home on a regular basis because I'm just tired. We're getting the kids dinner, we're getting the kids homework done, we're getting bath time done. By the time that's all over, it's time for me to shower and time for me to go to bed. So I don't watch that much TV or read that many books. The next question is, how do you manage work commitments with your family? Is it doable for a mother of young school-going children to work extended hours, on-call shifts, without outside help? Your input and advice would be greatly appreciated. In terms of childcare, when the kids were little, we had a nanny for the first 6 or 7 years of having kids, and she ended up leaving, and we had a couple of nannies that didn't work out as well as her in between that. And then we decided just to send our kids to early stay and after stay at school. So all we had were morning nannies who took my kids to school in the morning, like came at 6:15, took the kids to school. That's what we've been doing to present. And we've had the most incredible morning nannies ever. Like amazing, amazing people. Like love them. Rebecca, if you're one of them, if you're watching, I love you. I miss you. Rebecca had a baby, so she doesn't nanny for us anymore, but she was amazing. And then we've had 2 other amazing nannies that have been college age after that help with the kids. It takes a village. It is really hard. My husband is totally key in the story. So my husband works from 6 to 4 instead of like till 5 so that he can get the kids, take them to their activities. He does everything with the kids in the afternoon while I'm at work, and he brings them home and usually gets dinner started so that by the time that I get home, the kids have done all their activities. There is no way in the world that we could do afternoon anything without my husband's awesome commitment. So he has made a lot of sacrifices along the way for me in terms of my job. And I feel like that is the key here. I feel like if I was married to another doctor, maybe that would be a lot harder and we would need a nanny, but because he's been flexible with his job hours, he does everything in the afternoon and early evening, and that is how we manage it. And then weekends, we have quality time with our kids at night and on the weekends. So that's kind of how I juggle my usually very, very crazy schedule. If I was traveling and I lost my luggage, what is the first thing I would run out to buy? Mascara. No question, it would be the IT Cosmetics 24-hour mascara. I always enjoy hearing about somebody's journey with makeup. Did you enjoy it when you were younger or just later in life? And have you ever had any crazy makeup stages? So I will throw up. So I've always enjoyed makeup. I remember for my 16th birthday, my sister took me to Drug Emporium, which was like a big drugstore we had in San Antonio at the time. And we bought Clarion makeup. If I can find pictures of Clarion makeup, I will put it up on the screen. I've always been enamored by makeup. I used to walk around the grocery store, the drugstore, looking at makeup. I did not know how to use it. I've basically just learned what I know from YouTube because I haven't ever taken any makeup classes and books. Like before there was YouTube, I used to read books on makeup. And that's pretty much all the questions. There is one more thing I wanted there is another question that I got on one of my comments in a recent video about COVID-19 and makeup, and I wanted to address that for you guys because I think that's obviously very relevant to this time. Don't worry about your makeup with COVID-19. What I would say is, I don't know what Sephora and Ulta are gonna be like when stores start to reopen again. I would not test any makeup at any time between now and when the whole world has a COVID-19 vaccine. I wouldn't touch a sample. I certainly wouldn't try on a sample. I would not put my fingers in a sample. That is just like a petri dish. But for your own personal makeup collection, let's say you don't have COVID. Just make sure that when you like what I would do is I would, during this time of COVID, shower when you come back from your day out of the house. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you are showered and clean, wash your hands before you touch any of your makeup, and then your makeup's gonna be no different to any other time, COVID or not. If for whatever reason, if you're putting on makeup after you've come in from being outside of the house, just make sure your hands are clean before you touch your makeup, and make sure your face is clean. So I would wash my face, wash my hands, and then put on my makeup. Don't put dirty hands into your makeup. That aside, I mean, that goes with the rule of not touching your face. You obviously wouldn't touch your face without makeup, and you also wouldn't touch your face to apply makeup with dirty hands or a dirty face, because if you've been out, you could have contamination of your face. So just make sure you wash your face and then you apply your makeup. If you are a person that gets COVID-19, you can't get COVID-19 a second time from using makeup that you used when you had COVID-19. So the reason for that is because when you have COVID-19, you're gonna develop antibodies to this particular strain of COVID-19 that you caught. So if you're using the makeup that you used when you had COVID-19, eventually you're gonna develop antibodies to that strain of it, and you can't give it to yourself again. So if you have it, there's no need to throw out your makeup collection and start fresh. So I hope that answers your questions in regards to that. So that's it, you guys. This was a very, very long video. Hopefully once I edit it, it is gonna be a little bit shorter. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give the video a like. It's nice to see all of you. It's nice to chit chat with all of you. I hope everybody is staying safe and well and is mentally feeling good and doing the best that you can with this crazy, crazy world that we're living in right now. I'm thanking all of you guys and sending you guys all of my best wishes, my best prayers for health, and I will look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye guys.